hello, hello. It's Carib Clews, and today we're going to be with Leslie at large. She's going to talk about charity. They say charity begins at home. Well, that is especially true when your home is offshore, particularly in Nicaragua, where Leslie is setting the standard. Leslie, I love your line that you can make a difference and leave a legacy. What's going on?
Yes, Carter. I'm one of those, like, we all have to have a purpose in life, and some of us, it takes a long time to figure out what that purpose is, because I think we think it needs to be this really like impactful, huge thing, and oh, how do I do that? But you know what? It's the little things. It's just giving back to your community. And I'm actually coming from you today. I'm here at Grand Pacifica, in my neighborhood. This is home for me.
Gorgeous.
And it's
Gorgeous.
a special place. I encourage people to come visit it. But the thing I want to talk about today is really the things you can do here. A lot of expats, those of us that have chosen to live overseas, or even people that visit here, on vacation, they're always asking, what can I do to help the local community? They drive through all the little villages and towns around here, and they see that there's a lot of needs, with the school
Yeah.
children, with the animals. There's a lot of stray animals here. And so those two things are very near and dear to my heart. So those are what we'll focus on a little bit today, but it really is about giving back.
Excellent. Excellent. And you are a true example. I mean, you walk the talk. Let's put it that way. Okay. You walk the talk because you help out in every way possible. So what is your top priority right now in the world of, I love the line again, making a difference and leaving a legacy. What's the top priority? By the way, behind you at Grand Pacific is stunning. It's gorgeous. I can't believe it. It is just unbelievable. All right, back to the topic at hand.
It's beautiful. It's what we call the green season. You can see I'm wearing green. It's green. It's a beautiful
Yes.
day. Lots of sunshine. I'll give you a little quick tour around when near the end. But yeah, I wanted just to share some of the opportunities that I've been able to be a part of just in a short time here. One of the probably ones that stands out to me was at Christmas time. We have a Rotary group here at Grand Pacifica. So everyone's very familiar with Rotary organization. And
Yes.
I grew up very involved. My dad was, like a district governor and had his Paul Harris Fellows. And as a child, those are great memories of me going to these big Rotary international events. And I never had become involved, though, as an adult. And some of the friends that I had made here, they were a part of the Rotary Club. That's kind of like a satellite to the Manawa Club. And so they've been, come on, Leslie, come on. Well, I would help volunteer. They had golf tournaments and I would, donate and play in those. Last Christmas, they raised money and they literally gave out 1,000 gifts to 1,000 children in all the local communities. And I got to be a part of that. So there was, a day that we all just boxes and boxes of things and we all volunteered our time. That's what I want to stress to people. You don't have to have tons of money to be able to help. You can donate your time and your skills. And that's a really cool thing. So we just all went over to someone's home. We packed up, the different groups of gifts for all the different villages. And then a few days later, one of our new residents dressed up as Santa Claus, as Papa Noel. And off we went in different carloads going to the different communities. And I mean, talk about making my heart happy, seeing all these little kids running up to Papa Noel and wanting their pictures. I was the official photographer, so I took all the photos, so that was so much fun. But yeah, so many people here in the community gave back that day, and truly in the end, we were the ones that were rewarded.
It is just, I'm so glad that you did that. I'm so glad you're sharing this with us, folks. This is the kind of charitable act that you can do when you make your move to any Central American country. And it's going to warm your heart and thrill the children. My wife, as you know, is from Honduras, raised in abject poverty. And she was just telling me this past weekend, one time in her life, a gringo woman came by and gave her an ice cream cone. Now, that was 29 years ago. And well, she was 5 years old, so 24 years ago. And it was the only ice cream cone she ever had. And to this day, she just treasures it. treasures. So that's what you have done. And folks, that's what you can do when you make the move. There's kind of a paradox, okay? There is tremendous poverty in a country like Nicaragua, Honduras, some of the others down there. But with almost nothing, let's say you bring in, as you've said, $2,000 a year as an American living there, you're living, you're one of the 1%, and think how much you can help those who are in need. So it's what you're doing is wonderful. It's wonderful.
You know what? It's really not about me. So I just want to kind of talk about some of the other things you can do here that I've been a part of, my neighbors have been a part of. So there's this beautiful soul. Her name is Julie, and she founded an organization called Nika Love. And I met her because they own property here at Grand Pacifica. They do live outside the gates, but I met her when she was here one time. They come in and out and spend time in the States and here. And I was mesmerized by what she was doing because she kind of had my dream. She's like saving all these animals. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I get involved and volunteer? So I've done a couple of things with her. She's just one of those, like I said, beautiful souls that really wants to make a difference and give back to these communities. And she helps with, some of the schools in the surrounding area. She comes back in and she has partnered with a local organization in Managua called Fundación Adan, which the ADAN stands for Adopted Animals Nicaragua. So that's kind of who she partners with. And they're right now raising money. They have land outside the gates of Grand Pacifica, and they are going to be building they've actually started building an animal sanctuary. So I'm very excited. That will be something that, people living here can volunteer and help with. But right now, I think they have like over 300 animals. They have a couple in foster families. They have, a shelter there in Managua right now. But I've gone to the shelter there. We had a shelter day, and we were able to go and help paint and, bathe the dogs and just love on them and play with them. And I mean, at one time, I think I had two, licking all over my face at one time, and they're crawling all over you. They just want love. You know what? They're just like people. You want to feel connected and you want love. And so I did that one day. And then while she was here that trip, she had several different animal clinics, like wellness clinics, spay neuter clinics. So a lot of us volunteered. I wasn't sure what I was signing up for. I had never volunteered at an animal clinic, but I show up with the willingness to do whatever you need me to do. And before the end of the day, they had taught me how to give some of the shots to the animals. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that. But one of the guys was a paramedic. He goes, no, I can show you. And so luckily the dogs was when they were still kind of under. So otherwise, I don't know if I could have done it. But I was shocked. My mom was even shocked, like, Leslie, how did you do that? I don't know. I went on a mission trip one time to Guatemala with some of my dentist friends, and they ended up having me pull teeth. So I am willing to just get in there and try. But it was a really cool day. That was the day that I walked away as a foster mom to Lucky, who now has become part of my family. So Nika Love is near and dear to me because I have a beautiful dog now that needed a home and that I was able to help from one of the clinics. So the clinics are a little dangerous for me. I went to another one that they had, and again, tons of dogs, cats, but then they had a lot of horses. That was where I first got on my kick. Oh my goodness, because you think about it, they use their horses, for work and to get to and from sometimes, and they need those animals. So they bring their horses in to get care and wellness. And so that's a huge thing for these communities. I think that day, I don't know, there was a large number, maybe 40, 50 horses. And that was the one somebody came in and said, somebody's selling a horse for $20. And I was like, where? So I went out and I couldn't find them, but I guess I'm glad they're gone because otherwise I probably would have bought a horse that day. Yeah, it's crazy.
But you have stables at Grand Pacifica. So
we do
have a home for your horse. Very, very nice.
Yes, we do. Nice. And we have some beautiful horses here. So lots of opportunities. Like I said, this same organization, she took a group of the residents here, and we went to a school one day. And it was a simple act of kindness. We took in some supplies that they needed. We took some treats and cookies and things, and then we took a piñata. The kids had, a great time. It was so amazing to me to just see their little faces. Like we were passing out pencils, And these children were so
Oh my God.
excited to get a pencil. And it just really touches your heart, and it opens your eyes, to things that we take for granted in the U.S. So that was a special day. We hung the pinata. They were swinging at it, going crazy. Of course, once the candy dropped, it was madness. Some of them played soccer with the kids afterwards. So that was a cool thing that we did as well.
There, it reminds me what you're doing is wonderful. And folks, keep in mind, imagine, the Bible tells us, if you've done it unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. A lot of these poor children and the animals in places like Nicaragua are the least of these, and you're part of a community. That's one of the things I love about the move, living in Central America. When I lived there, obviously with you, is you're really part of a community again, banding together to do things. And I remember when I was in Honduras in a little community called El Pino, and I'm in AA, right? And we'd have AA meetings. I rarely understood a word they said, but I knew they were all drunks who got better. So that's really all that mattered. but their kids would be there, and I would give the kids the equivalent of 25 or 50 cents. You would have thought that I'd given them a Sony Walkman or whatever kids play with nowadays. I don't know, obviously, but you would have thought that. The gratitude, the smiles. Yeah, that makes it all worthwhile. And folks, you can do that. You can do it when you make your move. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Absolutely. I went just I guess on last Friday, one of my consultants here, he called me and said, hey, I'm going to go check out this new little school that they're started over at Playa San Diego, which is just right next door to us. And so we went over there, and it was the cutest thing. When we showed up, the kids were doing yoga, and one of my friends, their little boy, was there, and it was just adorable. So they really try to focus on a lot of physical activity. They're learning to surf. They're learning to ride horses. It's kind of like an after school program right now, but they want to turn it into a full-fledged school for that community, because that community, you have to understand, a lot of these communities don't have access to maybe the elementary schools. So,
right.
The families have to either, find a way. I mean, transportation's difficult to get them there.
Right.
They may be riding, a family of 4 or 5 on a motorcycle to try to get them to school. If it's raining, you can imagine the challenges that have. So sometimes it's raining, we don't go to school.
Right.
So right now they're taking the kids. They brought a little van, so they get the local kids, and their program, they're really hoping they have some of the expat children there. So they're hoping to do kind of a 1-for-1. The expat children, pay for their school, and then you can support a local child to be able to attend school. So they take them to the school, and I think it's in the California community right now, and they go till like 11, and then they have this after program, and they feed them a great lunch, and they do physical activity. We got to go up to the little loft where their school is, and all their little backpacks were lined up. And some of these kids, are a little bit older and had never attended school, but they're excited now about learning to read and write. So I tell you, it really touches you.
It touches your heart. It touches your heart, and it helps them, but it enriches you. That's what's remarkable about it. And it's so, again, in the U.S., there is, quote, poverty, but it ain't poverty. Okay, where you are, when you go outside the gates of Grand Pacific and some of the small little towns, there are people there who really need help, and they are so grateful for it. They're so grateful that you have come up and thought of them. And you know what? It cost you monetarily. It costs you next to nothing, because a country like Nicaragua, I think the average annual income is $1,800 a year. I'm saying a year. So imagine with just an income, the average income of a Social Security recipient living down there, or let's say you're working remotely, making 3,000 or 4,000. A pittance of that turns their lives around. Is that a blessing or what? Is that a blessing?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's a great thing. I'm excited to participate more. So my friend Julie, that brought me into volunteering with Nika Love, she was the one that encouraged me to join Rotary. So this was kind of a funny story that happened like a week ago. I went to my first Rotary meeting, and I guess I was the sucker because before I knew it, they elected me president of Rotary. So
Well, Madam President, congratulations.
I see a lot more service activities in my future. I think we're going to do like one a month. I know every month with Rotary this year, their theme is Imagine, and every month we have focuses. So August is our new membership drive, but I know for September it's education. And one of the things we've been working on doing is getting things like tablets and printers and projectors to donate to these schools in the community because they don't even have those. So I'm excited to see what other activities and things we're able to find here. Again, I say this not about me, but I just really wanted to highlight the things that there are to do, because I think people wonder, like, am I going to get bored if I retire, or even if I just move to another country? Even if you're working from home, you have a lot of free time. And I mean, yes, the beach is wonderful, exploring is wonderful, but you want to feel like you made a difference, or at least I want to believe that most people, really have that internally, that they want to do good. So,
yeah, I think you're exactly right. And you're right. You do have the beach, especially at Grand Pacific. You have the beach, you have the golf course, right? You have the horseback ride. You have everything you want to do to enjoy yourself. And then, thanks to you, Madam Rotary President, they can also have the joy of helping others.
Right.
How do you beat that? You can't beat that. You cannot beat that.
I'm going to give you a quick little tour here. Let me see if I can show you. So this is my community.
Wow.
This is over in our San Diego Viejo. I live in this little strip over here. And then over here, this is the golf course, one of the holes, hole 8 of the golf course. Look how beautiful. And you can see all the new construction going on over here. These are some of our new homes in what is called Mila. And it sits between hole 2 and hole 8 of the golf course.
Very
so
nice.
Yeah, it's a special place.
It is absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely, I always tell people Grand Pacifica, Grand Bayman, the new El Zante in El Salvador, the reef they're building in Honduras. These are Mike Cobb communities, which means all the amenities are there. Everything is there, which you've just shown us, which is it's wonderful. Everything is provided for you. You just live well. And now, thanks to you, do good. So that's great. So thank you. This has been absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Thank you, Carter. Now, I will tell you, encourage people that are coming, even if they're coming for vacation, to pack with a purpose and get in touch with us, and we can tell them what type of supplies and things we need to help out.
It's fantastic. Thank you very, very much, Leslie. Folks, it's the best of both worlds for you. Making your move offshore, you can do well and do good. The best of both worlds. So, as I always tell you, every week, and as you've just seen for yourself, the reason why, let's do this thing.